Hello, people of the world. I am back from the dead in these last days, these tribulation era days. Um, Maybe go on that into another video, but today we're going to go over Travis Patron's first jury trial that he had today. I believe this is going to be going on for all week from my recollection of it. But this is his first go at it, and I guess they're just selecting the jury, and yeah. So all this law stuff is above my pay grade. Travis Patron, he is representing himself in court um, for a serious allegation of assault of two women. So we're gonna do a screen share. Alrighty, and off we go. Okay. So Travis Patron, jury trial opens, accused of assaulting two women. Patron has chosen to represent himself without the help of a lawyer, according to Justice Beverly Cladd. I hope I'm saying that right. Hide this. Amanda Rashinsky says a man who at first struck her as an intellectual. Okay, interesting choice of words. Later struck her in the head multiple times in a violent assault that had lasting effects. The 36-year-old woman testified Monday that Travis Patron, a Redverse, who sat across from her in the court, was hardly recognizable as the well-dressed, good-looking man she engaged in conversation at a Regina bar before he allegedly assaulted her and her friend Allison Takaraz in November of 2019. He looked thinner in court and now has a beard, she said, but she knew it was him from his facial features. Patron, who was 28 when arrested and was last, at least at one point, the leader of the Canadian Nationalist Party, is charged with 2 counts of assault causing bodily harm, dated November 2nd, 2019, and his jury trial began Monday at Regina's Delta Hotel. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird. I guess, I mean, I have seen courts around here, they have them in malls and stuff like that. Um, it's just kind of weird. You think about court, usually think about the, especially a trial like this. Like you think about like a building with statues in front or a Supreme Court kind of looking building, but interesting choice of venue, I'd have to say. Um, and by the way, you still have to wear a mask in Canadian courts. That's fucking bullshit. I don't want to talk about it right now, but yeah. Although Patron didn't verbally enter a plea to the charges when asked, Regina Court of Queen's Bench Justice Beverly Clatt directed the court clerk to enter pleas of not guilty on the record. Following this, a jury was selected. The final 12 jury members appeared to be of varying age and more than half men. Oh, the media is triggered about this. Dun, 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 you bigots. I bet you like white men too. They're just Nazis. They're just secret Nazis just lurking around. Good joke. Anyway. Yeah, because women are rational. Yeah. That's what that's what they're saying. Women are so rational and so yeah, right. Okay. Let's just keep moving on. Prosecutor Ryan Snyder's opening remarks were brief, as he told the jury they could expect the Crown to call three witnesses, a police officer and the two complainants. The Regina Police Service Constable Jessica McBride, an officer since 2017, testified she was among those dispatched to an assault call in the early morning hours of November 2nd, 2019. When she and her partner approached the scene, she saw a man matching a suspect description, but he declined to speak with the police before walking off and disappearing. Despite being followed, McBride told the court, um, okay. Petron, who was representing himself without the help of a lawyer, questioned her on a number of points. Man, I would, man, I would, now maybe I might be able to help him with some like guilty plea stuff, but like, all this stuff, I mean, that's, I think he went to school for this stuff. So, I don't know, see if anybody's watching. Nobody's watching. Hello. Okay. Can you still hear me? Okay, good. Can still good going. I know I go off into tangents. Whatever. Where were we? Was that right here? Right here? Okay. Patron, who was representing himself without a lawyer, with the help of a lawyer, questioned her on a number of points, including why the suspect hadn't been detained and what knowledge she had of his being remanded. Oh man. Oh man, I would love to be in the courtroom for that. Oh man. That was probably a shit show. Fuck yeah. CNP. CNP. It's what we do. It's what we do. It's what we're doing here. Yeah. Yeah, boy. CNP power is it's the power of Yeshua. Not that God. The Bible wasn't written in English. FYI. Power of Yeshua. Power of Allah. All the same. All the same. Gabriel. Yeah. Um. Anyway, I'm so glad that I'm hearing like what's going on here. I'm just imagining as like a shit show in the courtroom. Oh man, oh fuck, I want to be there. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Um, there's a saying: you can't have freedom and also be ignorant, right? So you need to take the time to study and realize that of what a lot of society has told you is bullshit. If you're not willing to defend your rights, you have no rights. Okay? All right? You just have to look at the right information, put your mind to it, and I know every situation is different, but you see what you do see anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Okay? So this some nobody from Saskatchewan is with no lawyer's license is causing a shitstorm in the courtroom, for asking basic questions. You need to ask basic questions. They can't answer. There you go. You're on the right track. All right, I'll keep going. There was a point where his avenue of questioning was stopped by the judge, and the jury was briefly dismissed. Fuck, come on, be there. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh, that's so great. It's awesome. But the conversation that followed cannot be reported due to the standard publication ban on information not heard by the jury. McBride said she attended to the two women who were located in an apartment building off of Victoria Avenue. Both women had visible injuries and seemed slightly intoxicated. They declined to be taken to hospital by EMS. Interesting. Interesting. So they had these, and I'll show you in a clip later, but they're one of them at least is claiming that they had a concussion and wasn't able to work and is still seeing therapy right now. And this happened in November 2019, and it's 3 years later or 2.5 years later. And she still has an injury and she still needs to see a therapist. I don't know. I'll show you in the video in the CTV video later, but talks about the one of the victims. But yeah, declined to be taken to hospital. That's interesting. I mean, I'm sure, God forbid, you know, whoever has been assaulted before, with the weapon or been beaten badly. Usually, you go to the hospital. I know this cost stuff and all that shit, but if it's like an emergency, if it's like how bad they're saying it, and I'll show the next clip. You go to the hospital right away. So why did they decline to go to the hospital? It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. But later accepted a ride to the general hospital from police, she said, noting she received full statements from both women at a later time. So I guess they still went to the hospital. Maybe they didn't want to pay for it. I don't know. Seems a little fishy. Declined to be taken to a hospital. And then, yeah, anyway, let's just keep going. On the witness stand, Ryshinsky told Snyder she and Takara's meet. Maybe I'm saying this wrong. Sorry. Met Patron in a group with two other men in the bar. They all attended another bar together, she said. And when it closed, they walked to the Hotel Saskatchewan. There, she says, she and Takara's, I don't know, what's it called, Toby, I don't know, left the men on the corner and proceeded to an apartment building nearby where they eventually called for rides home before Patron reappeared asking, "Where is the party at?" She testified the women told Patron they were heading home and he offered them a ride. They told him they already called for rides, but he persisted and shushed Ryshinsky, placing his fingers over to his lips. Ryshinsky testified she took exception to this and told Patron so. Okay. Then he just wound up and hit me in the face. Oh my. She said, her voice wavering. Okay. Collecting herself, she recounted how both women ended up in the apartment lobby, but Patron entered and struck Torres to the ground. Okay. And Ryshinsky said he then hit her again. A surveillance video said to show part of the alleged assaults was played for the jury. The incident left her in with a concussion, and she said she was unable to work for months. She said, noting she sought counseling, which continues now. So yeah, um they originally declined the ambulance ride. She suffered a serious concussion that I don't know what her work is. Is she like a bricklayer? I don't know. She couldn't work for months. Yeah, that's a little. What job is it that you can't work for months from a concussion? Like, I don't know. That it doesn't make any sense. Like a concussion, like usually it takes like a week or two to. Depends how bad it is. If you have like amnesia, you could get amnesia from it, like brain damage. I've had a concussion before, and it took me like a week or two. Like I know, like after you get a concussion, you kind of you're not yourself, and you kind of lash out a little bit. But I don't know if you have a concussion, usually if it's like a non-physical job, usually take a week or two off, and then you're back. But this took months. I don't know. That doesn't seems off there. There's something inconsistent about that. And seeking counseling, whatever. I mean, teach their own. There's people who get counseling all the time, so maybe she has some other issues. Who knows? But anyway, um, she testified she'd given Patron her phone number before the alleged assault, and afterward they had a brief phone conversation during which she told him police would be in contact with him. Interesting. He later texted her asking her to tell the police he tried to apologize. She testified. Have they written affidavits? I guess that's my 2 cents in here. Is this in an affidavit? 'Cause testimony is nothing. You know, I mean, a judge can always dismiss testimony if it's inconsistent or if it's too. I've heard of cases where the two stories are too intact, and the judge uh, deciphered a doubt, and so then they just do. So I mean, if there's no affidavits in here, if they're not putting in an affidavit, they could just be lying. It could that's just hearsay, really, and that's probably why there was a whole bunch of objections. I'm just trying to maybe paint the picture, you know, with my legal knowledge. Oh yeah. So I'm just trying to my perspective. Maybe you have a different perspective on this, and maybe you could share that. But that's just mine. It's just like you're not willing to put it in an affidavit. I haven't. Have you guys seen an affidavit been mentioned here yet? No. So I mean, testimony that can always be dismissed as hearsay. So an affidavit, if you lie in an affidavit, you can that is perjury, and that is sensible up to 5 years in prison. So or a fine or something like that. So if you lie in an affidavit, you're toast. But testimony, I don't know. That could always be dismissed as hearsay. So I wouldn't really think too much about. If she's really sure about her story, I'm sure they would have mentioned affidavits. Yeah, they submitted affidavits. I don't see an affidavit here at all. So take it as that will. I'm just going off of this. Um, I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but obviously I'm biased. I was a member of the organization, so take that as it is. But this is not legal advice. If you are seeking legal counsel, seek a competent counsel. This is only for educational purposes only. You know, just to put that disclaimer out there. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. Um, I'm only doing this because neither of you deserved what happened. She read from a screen capture of text message display. So this is Travis allegedly uh, texting them. Okay. Patron, when given the opportunity to cross examine the woman, chose to sit silently, not responding to the judge prompt. I'm not quite sure. I'm not familiar with that etiquette. I've submitted evidence and all that stuff, but prompts, cross examination. Eh, I'm not. It's not my expertise. Um, okay. Uh, he appeared to be shaking. Okay, whatever. I mean, anything. Court is scheduled to resume Tuesday, when the accused man will again be given an opportunity to cross-examine Roshinsky. So this is pretty impressive for his self. That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta defend your rights, man. So basically, if I were to sum it up, is that the story seems to be a little bit inconsistent. There's no mention of an affidavit, so it's really hard to be like, legal sense. I'm just trying to use that it could be taken as a statement of fact, because testimony can always be dismissed as hearsay. Um, I mean, there's evidence. I mean, I'm only doing this because neither of you deserve what happened. Um, I don't know. That's what happened. I It's still left for interpretation. What did happen? That's what we're trying to figure out. You know. So it's not really. I don't know. I wasn't there. That could be anything. You know. Like, I'm just from a legal lens, really. Um, trying to be as objective as possible. But yeah, I'm just like for educational purposes, of course. But yeah, I don't know that could mean anything. Whatever happened, I don't know. Maybe they felt who knows. But you know, unable to work for months from a concussion. A little suspect as well. A little suspect about originally declining. So if you had a serious injury and you declined an ambulance ride, it's a little bit hit or miss, and then you came with a police cruiser. So there's a bit of inconsistency there. Something doesn't really add up a lot. I was wondering what her job is. I don't know. That would leave her for months. Usually, a concussion, even if it's like a minor one, you're usually good. You're ready to go. Maybe because I'm saying it's because I'm a white male, but usually a concussion doesn't prevent you from doing your job for months. It's not something. I mean, if it was serious, I mean, why did she decline the ambulance ride to begin with? So it's a little bit suspect. A little bit of like, you know, like I'm trying to like there's some things in here I just like that I'm starting to get some inferences here, especially when it comes to the ambulance ride and the um I mean, there was some information that wasn't disclosed, and we don't know what that is, because there's a publication ban on it. So this is what we have. But there is, I mean, and this is, we can work off of this anyway. Um, so I guess the 12 jurors, varying in age, more than half men, they're pissed about that. Ah, screw you. Whatever. Fuck you. Wonder why they're ticked off about that. Why do they have to make that claim? More than half are men. Err. Just put white in there, and I don't know. Maybe they're not all white, but anyway, hatred of men are in there, of course. So yeah, the ambulance ride, and then them. So what? This is what I wanted to really get to. Um, is okay? So they declined to be taken to hospital by the EMS. but later accepted a ride to the general hospital from the police, she said. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm getting an inference right now. It's like maybe the police. And now I'm not in the courtroom, but I'm getting an inference right now that the police were like, "You play this up." I believe this is because of his standing as a political leader of a nationalist party, um, and the establishments. And we've all seen the fucking news articles. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. We've all seen the news articles about the slander. So I'm just wondering if why there was such a kerfuffle in the courtroom when Patron was cross-examining the police's testimony, and also why they decided to go to the hospital from the police. So I'm wondering if the police are maybe trying to drum up a story here that's not there. Maybe they're committing, God forbid, perjury. Who knows? Um, and in that case, you could just put a statement of claim, put their bond, and you put a lien on their fucking ass, and tell them to fucking smarten up. But that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, we got a video here, as I promised. Reward you with a video. There's 2 videos here for some reason, but so this just kind of puts a bow on the whole thing. And then they mentioned the lady there. But yeah, so here you go.
Trial of Travis Patron, the former leader of the Canadian Nationalist Party.
Hang on. I don't know if you can. Give me 2 seconds. I always forget that I need to like change the settings. Still nobody watching. Oh, dang. Tough life out here. Yeah. Oh well. See if I do some settings here. What did I do it? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Hang on. Let's see if this works.
Got underway today in Regina.
Patron is facing 2 counts of assault, with the first alleged victim taking the stand today. Alison Bamford has the details.
One of the women accusing Travis Patron of assault says the trauma she experienced will stay with her. Amanda Roshinsky suffered a concussion after taking several hits to the head. Patron faces 2 counts of assault causing bodily harm dating back to November 2019. Testifying in court, Roshinsky says she and her friend were out for drinks at Victoria's Tavern when she met Patron and exchanged phone numbers. At the end of the night, she says Patron offered them a ride home. She says they repeatedly declined. That's when he allegedly hit Roshinsky. Surveillance video shows part of the alleged assault on tape. A man pushing Roshinsky's friend to the ground and grabbing Roshinsky inside an apartment lobby. The Crown submitted evidence of screenshots of text messages showing Patron apologizing to Roshinsky for his actions the next day. Roshinsky identified Patron in court as her assaulter, although admitting he looks different from 2.5 years ago. Patron is representing himself in court. He has pleaded not guilty. Throughout the day, Patron made a number of objections, the judge also interrupting his line of questioning at certain moments, causing the jury to be dismissed from the room. Due to a publication ban, we cannot report any discussions that happen while the jury is not present. During his chance to cross-examine Roshinsky, Patron sat silent in his chair. He will get another chance to cross-examine the witness when court resumes Tuesday morning. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Regina.
Jury selection is underway for the trial of Travis Patrone, the former leader of the Canadian Nationalist Party. Patrone is charged with 2 counts of assault causing bodily harm. The alleged incidents occurred in November of 2019 on the 1900 block of Victoria Avenue. Patrone has pleaded not guilty. He is representing himself in court, and the trial is scheduled to last until Friday. Patrone ran in the 2019 federal election in the Souris Moose Mountain riding for the Canadian Nationalist Party. Assault trial of Travis Patrone, the former...
Okay, you get it. Yeah, sounds very interesting. Nobody really wants to, nobody cares. I don't know, other issues. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world. I hope it'll, yeah, so that's informative enough. Add a bit of commentary in there, so I'm not just reading like a robot. Yeah, so we'll see. It goes on for, I believe, a week. See what happens here. Even from like the news, and they'll always have a bias, I guess, but like, they always want to make us look bad. Even with that, from that news article, I believe that that's a good first day for Bertrand. So, I mean, the judge interrupting, I mean, that's, I don't know what happened there, but that seems a little fishy there. But good first day. Maybe I'll do another video on if there's an update tomorrow. And we'll keep following this. And then he also has a hate speech trial coming up. I don't know if I'm kind of curious. Maybe if they'll let the public in on that one. Because that one, I believe, that one's more public. This one's more private because obviously it's between private individuals. But this one's a little bit different. It involves definitely some precedent that will be set. I realize that people say, "Oh, we're just a fringe party and just we're feds or some stupid like that." And you got to red pill the boomers, and I don't care. But I mean, this is definitely precedent setting, and it needs to be covered. And believe that uh, justice will prevail, and I guess one bit of advice is you only lose when you give up.